The Grip It and Rip It Disc Golf is an LLC that I formed in 2012 to do course design, event management, and instruction for disc golf. I've either been the sole designer or the lead designer or a collaborator on 15 disc golf courses in Western Pennsylvania and West Virginia and now Ohio. The more you can tell yourself positive things, the less chance you have, less space there is in your head to let in the doubts and the second thoughts. Disc golf course design is both an art and a science, and I've had almost 30 years of experience designing courses, playing courses. Professional course designer, I think, is a very valuable use of a park's budget in order to create a course that's challenging for multiple levels of play, both championship level and recreational, that's safe and sustainable. It's something that can be improved and last for a long time. Thanks for watching, and if you want to contact me about disc golf course design or event management or instruction, you can reach me at gripitandripitdiscgolf.com.
Hello everyone, and welcome to a very special episode of Disc Golf Examiner. Today we have coverage of the 2018 Amateur Pittsburgh Flying Disc Open. Joining me today is my co-host Vince Mach. Vince, how are you doing?
Doing great, Brian. Nice to actually be with you in person for a change.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. And Vince and I are joined by somebody very special to the Pittsburgh disc golf scene. This is J Gary Dropcho. J Gary, how you doing?
Hi Brian, I'm doing well. Hey Vince.
Hey, J Gary, good to have you on with us today.
I'm glad to be here.
Now, today we're covering the 2018 Amateur Pittsburgh Flying Disc Open. This is the final round, which is the advanced division. Just a little bit of explanation about this tournament. There's a pro version and then there's an amateur version. We'll be covering the advanced division today because it's the highest tier of the tournament. And we have some really good talent. I'm really excited to cover these guys because we don't get to cover them that often.
Absolutely. I don't think the amateurs, especially the higher levels, get enough play. And it's really cool to think, hey, if I do well in the local scene, maybe I'll get a chance to be on some coverage. So I really appreciate you, Brian, getting out there and hustling for the AMs, getting us a little shine.
And the amateur fields are growing. There was 129 players in this event.
Wow, that's tremendous. There's actually covered two different courses. We played round 1 and 2 at Deer Lakes for the advanced, and then they came to Nob Hill for the final 18. And then they reversed positions for other divisions. Right, there was not just the advanced, but there were intermediate level players and recreational level players. There were men, there were women, there were master age players who are 40 and over, and there were senior grandmaster players too who were 60 and over in this tournament. So it was a big field.
Yeah, and I think we have to give a shout out on that note to Lori, the tournament director. It's her third year running the event. She just did a stellar job.
Lori Merriman.
Yep, Lori Merriman running the event.
And we hope she keeps doing it. She's doing great things.
Don't leave us, Lori. Don't leave us.
Yeah, and it's so great that she was able to get out there even with her injury and be able to run the tournament. So speedy recovery to Lori there as well. But now, as far as the event went, there were players from all over, not just Pittsburgh, West Virginia, Ohio. We had New York players. We had guys from
Ontario,
Canada.
Yeah. I heard him say it was his first U.S. tournament.
Yes, yeah. I can't remember his last name.
Brian Farquhar.
Brian. Okay, there you go. And so it was so much fun to meet a bunch of new people. There's a lot of you out there that are Disc Golf Examiner watchers, and we really appreciate it. And this is going to be our lead card here. Special thank you to J Gary and Grip and Rip It Disc Golf LLC for helping us out with sponsorship here for this event.
Well, you're welcome. It's great having all the photos you took of these guys. And these guys are looking good here. Tom Sears, Troy Wagner, BJ Reiher, and Mike Herzog. Mike's from New York. Tom's locally planted. BJ is from here, and And Troy Wagner is a Pittsburgh player too.
So we'll go ahead and start on hole 1. It's a par 3, 322 feet. We have Mike and BJ at 1 under, and Troy and Tom at par right now. So as far as Deer Lakes goes, you can't score much better than that. It's pretty tough.
Yeah, and we're talking Deer Lakes Blues, and it's going to be fun for me as an intermediate player who just played the white layout to see these guys attack the blue tees at Nob Hill, because boy, these tee shots just, you'll see, add an extra dimension of elevation, of hitting a tighter line than you'd have to hit off the white tee. And you see BJ going with a thumber, which he's very well known for.
He throws that so far and so effortlessly.
Yeah, it looks like he barely throws it, and it comes exploding out of his hand.
And with some of these holes at Nob Hill, there's a canopy, and there's not a really high ceiling, and he still manages to thread it through there. And Troy throws forehand, not exclusively, but mostly, and also throws with a lot of power and accuracy.
Right. Looks like that shot maybe he turned over a little left, but if I know Troy, he'll have a shot in his bag to help scramble from there.
Yeah, believe it or not, it actually punched through some trees, and he's going to be in a great position.
This first tee shot is daunting because it is tight, and it's kind of uphill, and it's long. The hole's long too. I mean, it's 322 feet from the blue tee to get to that A pin where the basket is.
And you see Tom trying to play that left side to get the flex on his forehand, hit an early tree, and now has to play another flex forehand. And unfortunately, looks like he made the same mistake maybe, but he should be able to get up and down for a bogey, making it around those trees.
BJ is very fortunate with his landing there because there is some highly cluttered right side of the
yeah, if you're off the fairway at Nob Hill, you're in trouble. You're going to have to pitch out or just try to salvage your par.
And Tom, with a really valiant bid there to save his par. Troy, you're right, got very fortunate to punch through that left side. It's a little less cluttered than the right side, so let's see if he can...
It's a good run. That's like 65 feet run at it.
Yeah, that was a far putt. It was a good jump. And we got Mike here. I think this is his second Disc Golf Examiner appearance just this year.
Yeah, that's why he likes coming to Pittsburgh.
And Mike has a very interesting style in that he likes to kind of trick me into thinking that he's going to throw whenever he's just practicing a shot. It's very interesting. We'll go more to that later.
He rehearses it.
Yeah. Very telegraphed. And then you have Tom dropping in for his bogey.
Probably not the start he wanted, but hopefully he'll recover.
Man, nice par from BJ. I don't know if he coined the term, but I've heard somebody call that low thumber a shotgun thumber that comes out kind of sideways and low and fast rather than going high in the air. So he throws a lot of those shots that just come blasting out straight instead of up in the air.
So Troy and Mike are clean up for their pars.
Yeah, and you don't feel bad about a par from that tee.
No, absolutely not. So we're moving on to hole 2, which is a par 3, 327 feet. This one is going to be more of a straighter to anti-flex shot.
Yeah, the basket's over the hill. It's actually blind. You can't see the basket from this tee, but the line is a bit of an anhyzer, a bit of turnover for a right-hand backhand. And Mike looks like he's almost hit it. He got inside that one tree.
He got some good distance on that one. He's going to be probably about 70 feet from the basket there.
I guess the ceiling's too low for BJ to throw his overhead here. He's throwing a backhand.
And I've seen people throw that overhand thumber shot from there, but if that's what he feels comfortable with, yeah, that's really nice.
Yes.
He should be very close to the basket with that tee shot.
And Troy with his sidearm.
Missing that first sassafras tree with the guard on it. That's always the key.
Mm-hmm. And it looks like he faded out just about maybe a little left of the pin. I know I always have trouble remembering where exactly to throw my forehand, and I usually end up a bit right because I don't want to end up left. And Tom looks a little high. He'll be right side maybe.
He did hit a tree there, so
okay.
We'll see where he landed.
Oh, he looks like he got maybe a little bit of a roll because that's not so bad of a leave. He's got about a 45-foot putt here.
Great bid. You have to run those downhill. Lead card, you really need to try to make up some strokes after you've started with a bogey.
And Mike is actually about 70 feet here. You can't quite tell from the angle, but he's going to give this a good run because he knows Troy and BJ are right there under the basket.
And a good putt.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a lot of spin. Great snap on his wrist, and he shot that. It didn't go much higher than the edge of the basket the whole flight.
Tom's in for his par.
Getting a little bouncy there, but he's going to laugh it off, collect his disc, and move on with his round.
BJ should have a nice, easy...
No problem.
Yeah.
That's a birdie.
That's a great birdie. And Troy's right
Troy
there.
was par.
Yeah.
Okay.
Troy says, I'll do you one better. Wow.
So we'll go ahead and move on to hole 3, which is a par 4, 490 feet. It's very narrow.
This hole played very difficult for the field. 4.9 was the scoring average for the advanced field on this hole. So it's over par.
Yeah.
Yeah, that just shows you that from this tee and in this pin position, you could argue par 5 for as tight as it is. If it's almost playing 4.9, for my money, it's the hardest tee shot on the course.
It's very tight and narrow. It slopes to the left. There's you've got to get in the middle to have a good look at, to have a chance to throw a approach shot that'll get to the pin.
We'll have BJ going his trusty thumber there.
It just corkscrews right into the fairway.
Perfect. Yeah, working right into the ground to give himself an open look, maybe finding that lane down the path towards the basket. And maybe Troy's going to line up a flex here and really try to bite off some distance.
And wow, that's going to hang out far left, but
Came out a little wobbly and turned over.
But I think he's going to be in a really nice placement there. We'll see here in a moment.
It was humid out. You can see the players going for some dirt, trying to keep their hands dry.
Nice flex there by Tom.
Yeah, it looks like he caught a tree, but it looked like he actually corrected off of Troy's shot, and unfortunately isn't getting the tree love that Troy is.
But he got dead center in the fairway. Now his disc did flex out to go a little bit more right there, so he's going to be in a little bit of jail there.
And this second shot is pretty crucial. You're in the open spot. You have a line. You don't want to go left. You don't want to go right. You need to hit the line to get down the path towards the basket. And I like Mike's play here. When the disc is on its side, there's less space aimed towards the trees, so he can maybe zigzag through.
Looks like BJ might be going for another thumber or roller here. Let's take a look.
Yeah, he threw that hook thumber and it started to flex back, but I don't think he's quite in putting range still. The basket, this hole is 420 feet long.
It's far. I was down about where Troy is.
That's a good looking shot.
There
is a lower kind of fairway down on that left side.
I ended up down about where Troy was, and I still couldn't see the basket. I had to run up on the path to remind myself because it hasn't been in this position in so long. And I was like, oh my goodness, I still have how far to go? It's a task getting all the way down there. But for his tee shot to leak left, that was a great position. And Mike flexes his right down that path to the right of the basket. Hopefully he'll have a nice
there now you
position.
can see the approach. It is blind from that second shot. There's a hump there. You got to get up over top of it to get a good look.
Right, you just have to know where to throw it. I feel bad for some of these guys who came out and played the course blind. Quite a few people, they played a few practice holes or didn't play it at all, and this is a challenging layout.
Tom's going to find a gap there, get down towards the basket.
Yeah.
Little mini run. That's not bad from back there. That's maybe 20, 25 feet behind the basket. I was back there after my third shot to try to make my putt. And that's not a bad spot at all. BJ looks like he got some good distance. He's lining up a putt.
Yeah, he's probably about 70 feet from the basket there.
He's doing that step putt. He's really been working on that, and that almost just about 3 inches low.
You can tell he's been working on it. I mean, that was a really nice commitment to his line.
And Tom's going to have some trees on his right side here, going to make putting a little bit difficult, and unfortunately, his putt just wasn't quite high enough.
Troy in great position again.
right in the center.
Wow.
Nice easy birdie.
And Mike holds out too. Course was in great shape for the weekend. It had been wet here for the last few weeks, but has dried up pretty nicely. And
Tom taps in for his bogey. And now we get to see some new sections of the course.
Yeah. So we'll move on to hole 4, par 5. That's right, par 5 at 606 feet, all uphill.
it is. It's about 120 feet of elevation gain from this tee to the pin.
And I believe every single foot, having played that hole, it is really the camera. I know they say this all the time, and we do too. That camera does not do it justice for just how uphill that is. That is a straight uphill shot. You can see the line that Troy's putting on, that he's coming all the way up from below his hip to above his chest. That means uphill. And you want to get right.
He's throwing a really good shot here. He's cleared the first group of trees and is in good position to throw a second shot.
And I imagine he'll have to do a backhand, because I think past that stump he's going to be a little pinched off on the left side.
Mike's trying to turn it over, but he's done it a little bit too much.
That's
And he
right by
the
the
kick to the middle there.
and right by the white tee, and that's going to leave him a lot of work. BJ going back to the backhand.
He's turned it over a little too much too, but he got through and he's up on the top. I can't tell if he's going to have a clean look for a second shot.
It's hard to say.
This is a good looking forehand here.
Yeah,
This
that's-
is cutting the corner nicely.
Right, that's more what you want. You want to go left immediately. You want to start going left to try to get past those cutoff stumps up there towards where Mike is throwing. I see he's really good at faking you out there, Brian.
He really is. You think it's coming out of one hand, and suddenly he's got it in the next. He's going to have a good flex shot,
Okay.
though. He's going to be straight up into the gap there.
And you can see how the fairway does sort of an S turn here. It's up the hill, then it veers to the right, and then goes up the hill some more, and then almost kind of straightens out a little bit.
And
Right
that's
to the tree in the middle.
and that's what that hole will do to you. So J Gary, can you tell us a little bit about the redesign and the thought behind it?
Well, we wanted to incorporate a par 5 in the hole, and Marshall Township was all excited about letting us use this part of the property. It adds like more of what Nob Hill used to be in terms of how many trees there are in the fairway. A lot of people say, "Oh, this looks like the course used to be like," and I think it's going to develop nicely as it matures.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if you get far enough right, there is a fair fairway. But if you're on the left, all of these trees that you at home are seeing, that's a very accurate depiction of what the hole looks like. There's vines. There's a vine right in front of Mike. And I was joking to my card mates, because some of them were new to the area. I was like, this is the hill when they say Nob Hill.
That's why they call it Nob Hill.
That's right. And this is very much, I mean, later in the course you'll see we have another one, but this is another level. And Mike gets another. As soon as your disc gets up in the air like that, it has nowhere to fade but downhill when you're throwing a forehand. So he's going to be over by where Troy is, I think, landed.
And I do have to say, this is Mike's first time playing this course. He told me. So, and to have this hole on top of it, that show up, it's definitely.
There's the basket. Finally, we're
Yes.
seeing it.
It's up there.
Up
It's
in
in the
that
light.
sunlight, yeah.
Right. You can see it up there. And that's what I was saying about Mike. I mean, he's been golfing a long time, and he knows a lot that I don't, but I, especially with these new holes, would not want to come out here blind and try to find my way. So kudos to him for giving it a shot.
He was really excited to play this course. Looks like Troy is going to have his sidearm impeded here by this tree a bit. So
He's got it through though.
Yeah.
And he's got a long putt. Good clean look at it.
Yeah, maybe 40, 50 feet from the basket, and you can tell that he is a very talented forehand player. To have his hips open towards where he's throwing his shot, to not be able to lead in because the tree is pinching him in tight, and to still get that power, he obviously has great command of his throws.
And Mike's not going to quite like his footing here. He's going to have to move a vine here on the
He
ground.
should have been out with us like the past month moving vines.
Yeah.
Would have gotten more done if Mike had been there.
Yeah, Mike, you're doing some great work for us out there. Yeah, and we have to say, J Gary, Bud Hearn and Nate Langer, the 2 course promoters, plus a bevy of volunteers, put in
And
hours
Eden
upon hours.
Ganano
Eden Ganano.
did help to get the T signs redone in time for the course. And a shout out to Jeff Stanek, who actually produced them for us.
Amazing job.
Yeah, everything.
That's a nice
looks
looking shot there.
great.
Oh, it's I guess it's shorter than I thought it was.
I think he hit another tree.
He might have hit a
He
tree.
did, yes. Yeah.
Yeah, the top of where the basket is opened up really nicely when they came in with their machinery to clear it. It just looked like the obvious place, and the sunshine kind of on the basket gives the players something to hope for, to go for.
Yeah, hope for is
I
right.
can just get to the sun.
Right.
And he still is fighting off through these narrow gaps and up trees.
And BJ with his 3rd throw
Wow.
gets right up to the
Oh,
basket.
and it stayed.
And that's-
There's a fast slope right there by that basket. It's a hillside, but the basket is leaving a little bit of a knoll, so they can roll away.
Yeah, I heard some stories of some very brutal rollaways and some very brutal high scores. And fortunately, on my card, we took all our strokes before we got to that point, so we got off the green without any trouble. But I heard some very, very, very heartbreaking stories of people who got shot all the way down the hill, a few hundred feet.
Mike's laying up. So this hole played difficult for the field too. It was over par. It was 5.4 was the scoring average on this hole for the
Wow.
advanced field.
I believe it.
Yeah.
Especially with it being so new, people may be missing lines for sure.
I'd say in general, most people weren't. You're trying to take the shortest distance. You don't want to take extra distance, especially on such a hard bar hole. But I know next time I play, I will play further to the right because I think there's more of a fairway rather than trying to test that left side. Because there's sort of a fairway there, but as one of my card mates pointed out, it just sort of narrows and funnels in towards the last line of trees. And that's a great par. I felt really good with a par from the white
5 was a
tees.
good score there,
So
for
5
sure.
from the blues for Troy. Excellent.
BJ for his birdie.
This is a birdie putt.
Amazing.
One of the few in the field, I'm sure.
Yeah, he was actually saying that the key to playing this hole for him is to get skinny. You got to get that disc vertical and throw that thumber.
Yep.
And that thumber really plays to that advantage of getting less space that you need to fly. Mike with the unfortunate bogey.
Yeah.
Tom,
I know we talk about course karma all the time, and it didn't help Tom this hole. He did come out and do some work on it, but didn't get any of the karma on this hole.
work harder next time, Tom. So J Gary, can you tell us a little bit about this new hole that we have here on the course?
Yeah, it's a par 3, 285 feet.
Yeah, this is a brand new hole. It's downhill. It's not very far, but it's very tight. There's multiple options from both tees. And we added this hole because of the necessity of removing the old hole 11 on the course, which because of a walking path that was made formal right up the fairway, it just became too dangerous. So that's what prompted these changes, and I think they're good. I think this hole adds a look that the course doesn't have otherwise. It's downhill and it's tight.
Yeah, it definitely adds a lot of character, I think, coming up and down this hill in the first part of the course. And I think it's a great decision. The more we can do to help represent the sport in a positive way, taking safety into a concern when we're designing and building, I think is a great show of goodwill from the sport. So I think it was a great decision.
That's a good shot by Mike. He's trying to hit that gap right at the basket there. You can see it's not very far. And these tee pads, these are the original tee pads from the old hole 11. Marshall Township actually cut these tee pads in half, these 15-foot long concrete tee pads, and moved them up the hill to their current location. And they look perfect.
Yeah, I was telling my card mates about that, and their reaction is just wow. And still for me too. And it's great to have the support of the township.
It was a good shot by Troy. He's laid right at the basket.
It was great. Caught a nice tree at the end to help settle him down and skid right by. He should have a tap in. So it's great that we had such good support from the township to get all of this work done. Wouldn't have happened in the time that it did.
It's true. Yeah, they've been a great partner since 1994 when the course went in. They've continued to invest in it. They realize what a good addition it is to their park, and so we're happy to partner with them.
And BJ took a face full of vine, I think, to get that upshot down, but he laid it right at the basket, so he should be good to go.
Mike will lay up And
He'll have a short putt around that tree, but he should make that.
and look at where Tom landed.
Wow, past the basket. So that's a bit of a comebacker then, coming up the hill. I can't tell from the video how
Yeah.
many feet.
He's probably about 35 feet below, and he's below the basket, probably about 5 feet. The basket's sort of raised up on a platform as well as it being an upslope.
Let's see if he can capitalize.
He hit it.
Oh yeah,
Beautiful
Nice
birdie.
birdie, Tom.
yeah,
Good putt.
yeah. Great to get one back after some struggles on the first few holes. Maybe that'll get him started on a hot streak. BJ looking downhill, maybe just a little tentative because of the distance and the
Because of the
elevation.
drop off there,
Right.
yeah. And that's frankly what we were hoping for when we built this. We wanted players to have to think about the putt, and that's not a good thing when you're putting, is to be thinking too much. But it's part of what we try to do when we design, is to make the players think and calculate their chances and decide what's worth risking, what isn't.
And that's a great design. It accomplishes its goal, because otherwise the basket's just sitting on the hillside. There's a lot of trees around to catch discs. That adds an extra element of challenge.
So we'll move on to hole 6. It's a par 3, 498 feet. This is a big dogleg right into a guarded fairway.
This is a tough par 3 hole for sure. It's long and it's hard to get it there. Tom's throwing a pretty good tee shot for a forehand, something that moves from left to right. And you want to get all the way into the green, you got to get it really high as well, and that's hard because of the canopy of the trees.
And J Gary, have you ever seen anybody to it from the Blues, like actually get into the green with a tee shot?
I saw Scott Stokely park it with a forehand, and he just threw this massive inside-out hyzer forehand that went up over everything and just spiked right by the basket.
So if you have Scott Stokely's forehand, you can get there. The rest of us, we're going to be playing, and the scoring average says it, 3.6. So, most people taking a 3, some people bogeying. Because you get around this corner, and immediately you have one line of trees, and then you have some trees long, and then there's the guarded green as well. Like there's another set of trees you have to get through.
I don't know if Mike is lining up a roller here, but a backhand roller is actually a good play for a righty.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, looks like it. Trying to juke Brian out, walking all over the tee pad, but I think roller looks like the play. Oh, yeah.
I don't think he turned it up enough though, and he's not gonna turn all the way over. In fact, he's gonna hit the banner on number 9. No, he's turned inside of it. He might have some work to do. That's not the fairway.
Yeah, he could be over by new number 9's basket, depending on how far he finishes. BJ going for a giant Anheuser.
Yeah, he turned that way too fast, and luckily he kicked out onto the fairway some more.
And it looks like he's looking cut roller, maybe?
Go
Or
with
thumber.
what you know.
Well, that's true.
Yeah, he's corkscrewing a forehand in there, and he'll probably have a up and down for a 4.
Ooh.
Mike's in some of the bumble that is ever present at Nob Hill.
Yeah, that's fully one leg in, one leg out of the bumble. So it looks like he went long onto the side of new 10s, or right where new 9 and new 10 kind of wrap around, and that stuff is thick.
But he's going to...
That's a good looking shot out. That's a good escape shot. He's throwing a forehand roller. He's going to be out in the middle, should be able to get up and down from there. Although it's not, the pin is guarded, as you'll see.
Tom dropped quite a bit short, unfortunately. And speaking of forehand rollers, shout out to Brian Bowman for putting his forehand roller to good use. I mean, it's a shame that he had to, but he threw 5 quality forehand rollers during our round at Nob. That's a great shot to have in the bag when you get into some trouble and need to escape, and all of them worked out beautifully, and he shaved off some serious strokes and kept a good attitude about it, too.
Tom's going to be to the right side of the green there, and Troy...
Troy just doing it nice and easy, just throwing a shot in the middle and then taking another one to the basket.
He is on point today.
Yeah. When it looks nice and casual, and that's how you know you're playing well.
A nice little upshot from Mike. He should make that putt.
Yeah, he has all the tricks in his bag, from forehand roller to backhand roller to flex Andy forehand.
Mike's been playing disc golf a long time. He won the Amateur National Championship, actually, I think in 1992.
Wow.
I know he was there and happy to be representing the Rochester guys.
Oh, we're always glad to see Rochester players.
And here we have Tom. He's good ways from the basket now, but he's going to give this a good go.
You might as well. It's a little bit. There's some trees past the basket on that side, so if you leave it long. Oh.
Just off the rim and
Oh,
a little bit left.
You would have loved to have seen that go in. That was a really valiant effort.
BJ is going to take
Good
a
putt.
bogey.
Yeah, falling early the way he did, bogey was the best he could do, so that was a good scramble. Same with Mike. Really tried valiantly, but not too much you can do from back there.
And Troy is going to take his par.
Take the 3.
Stroke on the card. That's a good feeling.
So we're moving on to hole 7. It's a par 3, 302 feet. This is mostly downhill. You have a bog just past the basket. There's a steep drop off to it. That's casual, but it can definitely get in your head there. You definitely don't want to be down in that area.
It definitely makes me play shorter than I normally would. I'm thinking, get something down, highs are out left, or if I play the forehand, throw it plenty left, let it work in. No need to test the bog. And I never noticed it actually says bog on the tee sign. That's funny.
This is a tight shot. It opens up down on the fairway, but the first 85, 90 feet of the shot is a really tight tunnel, and you got to get through the trees, between the trees. You can see the basket way down at the bottom there.
Yeah.
And it's perched on a little bit of a slope too. It's very fast behind the basket, so you don't want to overdrive it.
Yeah, it's easy to overdrive it, or if you're putting, to have it stand up and roll right down the hillside. Like it slopes off right past the basket there. And I think Tom might have actually went a little
Just
right.
caught that low
Geez.
branch.
And Mike catching the low branch. But he's in the open though. He'll be able to, I think, throw a touchy upshot, get close, maybe save his par.
BJ's going to be a little low with that.
Yeah, but
Great
it's flexing, and it had a big flare at the end. He's wondering how'd that happen.
Yeah. Yeah, usually it's pretty soggy down there, and it was nice to see the course be really dry at this point at the bottom of the hill here. Driest I've ever seen it, I think.
That's coming in nicely.
Ooh.
He skipped a little bit.
Yeah.
He might have gone all the way down into the bog.
Troy's going to be behind a tree here. He's going to do the smart move.
That is a good play. Yep.
Mhm.
When you have the lead, just play it smart.
Tom found all the way down into the skunk cabbage. I'm not quite sure how he ended up down there.
That was his tee shot.
Yes.
That's a good curl.
Wow.
Okay. That's a good recovery.
So he got really far down there. I thought he was going to be right early. That's not bad at all.
And BJ's skip has actually taken him down the hill.
Yeah, he's looking up at the basket. It's about 10 feet above your feet. The basket is.
10 feet definitely. It's another steep uphill putt. We like those around Knob Hill. Checks to make sure it's his turn. His footing's good. Oh,
That's a good run at it. And Mike, actually, his got caught on this uprooted tree. He ended up with a little bit of good luck there.
So we'll see if he can make this putt.
is
for
he
his-
throwing a Scooby, like an up down?
It is an upside down. He did
Yeah.
throw an upside down putt
Wow.
there.
He's got all the tricks.
BJ
BJ
for
for par.
good par.
Another par from Troy, no problem.
Star par. So we'll go ahead and move on to hole number 8, which is a par 4, 587 feet. It's a lot of open area there. You do have some trees to contend with on your right-hand side. You can get into some jail. But luckily the blue tee pad kind of gets you out away from that.
Yeah, this is where the character of the course changes. It's very open. It's sunny and grassy, and it's a nice change. And for the big throwers to get over that, just over that edge, is really a good tee shot, and you're looking right down at the basket for your approach.
Yeah, that was a great forehand shot from Troy. That's quite far. Because
This one's flexing nicely too. He's a little bit far left.
Yeah,
He should be able to get to the basket from there.
He should be on red tee
The basket
pad.
is actually over the horizon and down the hill, and you'll see there's actually out of bounds behind the basket. That's a good straight shot. He's right to the top of that.
Definitely. That's right where you'd want to be. Let's see what BJ can do.
Throwing a backhand here, which is not his preferred shot. Looks like he stayed in the shortcut.
Yeah, he's not past the line of pines there.
This line of pine trees was just planted last fall. I think it was required by the housing development going on this next to the park on the right-hand side, and we're actually not surprised to see many of these trees dying because they were planted too close together.
And somebody pointed out to me too, there's a cord wrapped around them.
Starting to choke them.
I think it's bit them off. They're not getting the nutrients they need. And Troy,
you can see the approach here. That's a good shot. He's checked up maybe 20 feet below the basket.
Yeah,
He's putting up at the basket. That's a good leave.
Yeah, that's not a bad spot at all.
And Mike knows that from here he's got to make up some strokes. This is his chance. It's all downhill. Almost. He almost let that one go. I could feel it. There we go.
This is probably about a 210 foot shot downhill.
And that was a perfect approach. Yeah, for him to throw it at that flatter angle and have it check up, that's a really great command of his shot. I, as a lower amateur, throw a spike hyzer because for me that's just easier to control, but he really trusts that backhand.
Tom skipped a little bit too far to the right. He's not going to be out of bounds, I don't think, but he's close to it.
He's right on the edge. That's about as far down as you can be without actually being out. And he's behind a tree to boot. Jeez.
Well, it's a good comebacker.
Yeah.
He's going to have a testy little putt here still to clean up.
A little half run from down there, you might as well. You have the backstop of the hill. And now BJ's also putting right below the basket to the left there. It slopes away.
Just
Gave it the run.
And Troy for his bird.
This is definitely where you want to be putting at this basket, back up at it, and it stayed.
He almost had a little date with the Prodigy disc band there. Caught many a disc that day, but
Good putt from Tom.
very nice to save a par. He was able to sneak in underneath. Now BJ trying to clean up for his par. And this hole being as open as it is, as you might expect, played under par, played a 3.7 average. I'm sure these guys in advance with the open tee shot, open up shot, they really want to get the birdie there. So nice for those that
Couple birdies
capitalized.
out of the group.
So hole 9's a par 4. It's 564 feet. It's I'd say it's a dogleg right up the hills as far as you can go.
Yeah, there's two options on this one. You can play tight and in to the right of that tree that you can see there on the corner and underneath it. Some players I've seen go big and up over everything. Troy looks like he's going to throw up over it with forehand. Nope, he's going cut in the middle there.
Yeah, this tee shot's a doozy. This is another one where from the white to the blue it completely changes the hole. Instead of being able to rip it up towards the basket, you have to essentially do a placement shot to set you up for your approach. It's a true par 4 in that regard.
Mike's turned it over a little bit too much. He's not going to be in any kind of shul or bumble, but he's going to have a long second shot. That's cut rolling a little bit.
Yeah, and I've seen people take the forehand roller route, but that looked like a thrower, as German Nate would say over at Jomez. Not intentional, but it's a good play. If you have command of that shot, you can really get far up the fairway.
BJ's turned it too quick, but he came out of that smelling pretty good.
Yeah, that was a nice
He
kick.
could have been in really bad shape had a kick to the right.
And as far as the weather goes at this point, the sun's out and it's beating hard because it's probably about 91 degrees at this point, maybe a little bit warmer than that in the sun.
Yeah,
That's a good second shot.
was-
This is the path that I was talking about before that the township put in through the course. It doesn't affect this hole, and it's not out of bounds at all. But on the other hole that was removed, it was right down the middle on a blind shot.
Woo! And Tom getting sneaky around the bend there. He should be clean, and it looks like that might have penetrated forward, maybe to even give him a putt.
Can't quite see the basket where Mike is yet. It's up past this tree at the top of the hill and a little bit to the right. Mike's playing it out safely to the left. He should have a easy up and down from there to save his par.
And Troy's actually going to be the first one to get a look at the basket from his drive.
That's working nicely. He's coming back. He's going to have a long putt. He's
Yeah.
up at the top in the
I
flat part.
would guess a little more turned over than he would have liked.
Yeah.
To get up there to have a look at the basket and not be right at it. And that's short. You want to be past that tree.
Yeah, the basket's about 45, 50 feet past that tree.
Mm-hmm.
Tom's about 80 feet out here.
Throws it nice and high.
That's
Oh,
a good look at it.
great bid for Tom. Valiant effort. What was Mike saying to his card mates there, Brian? Do you remember?
I can't remember off the top of my head.
Looked like he had him laughing. I was just curious.
It's a good look.
Maybe if I make this, you got to give me $1. Something like that.
Troy's
Mike talks a lot during the round. He's loose. There's Troy's putt for bird.
Good effort, but no sense. In his position, there's really no sense to overly commit to that run when he can lay up and down and take his par. It doesn't look like any of his card mates are going to be making any strokes on him. So that's
No.
a smart, strategic play.
So BJ's going to take a bogey and everybody else pars. That's about what the field shot this hole, 4.2, a little bit over par. It's uphill, and that's probably part of the...
So hole 10 is a par 3, 561 feet. It is a ways downhill. I'd say it's as straight as you can throw.
You can see the basket from this tee location, but it's very tight off the tee, and there's 3 different gates to get through to the basket. This hole played the hardest on the course. 4.2 was the scoring average for this par 3.
Yeah, relative to par, that is incredibly challenging because not only is it tight through the gates, there's a low ceiling, and Troy has managed to lace all of the major gates and will have a fairly open look
Yep.
to get up and down for his par. That was a great
good shot.
Great shot. This is a true pro level par 3 to be 500 feet and counting it as a 3. You really have to have command of a shot to get it to hit all those separate gates and get down to the basket.
Especially if you can get it past those 2 trees that Mike just got through
That's
right
a
there.
good-looking
Get
shot.
down, bud.
And
Bud.
if it's going to hyzer back a little bit, he should be in good shape there.
Yeah, ever since they cleared out that section down at the bottom right there, that's opened up all kinds of
It's-
looks.
It has made it nicer for sure. Here's a chance to thank our tournament presenting sponsor, Innova Champion Discs, who did a really nice run of black Star Destroyers for the players, and we appreciate their support of disc golf.
Yeah, those destroyers are super nice. I also picked up a double stamped color glow Shrike that I'm really excited about. BJ catches that first V tree. Hopefully he'll have a look on the right side there. There are
He's
some.
rolling.
Oh, he's rolling too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's got one of the open gaps down to the basket though. He should be able to make something work. But catches another tree and knocks him down towards where Bud is spotting there.
The basket's looking real pretty down there in that sun and that little flat spot, but if you overthrow this approach or your tee shot, It's thick woods and bumble behind the basket.
Yeah, there's very little look out of there if you end up down there. And unfortunately, Tom, even though that's open, that was one of the few muddy spots left on the course, was to the left of the basket there. My disc was absolutely coated with mud, just 25 feet from the basket. It's just a low point on the course, and everything filters down the hill.
Oh, and BJ is going to have another unfortunate release there.
Yeah, he's driving the struggle bus right now. That's a tough hole if you hit a tree early.
Little touch forehand from Mike. That's a nice looking shot.
That's a really pretty shot. He should probably have 15, 20 feet finish up. Troy's like, disc golf is easy when you hit the lines and put it under the basket.
He threw that so effortlessly. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
BJ's still going to have a little bit of a putt from there,
Got some
unfortunately.
work to do.
And Tom is in the muck.
There's the bog, yeah.
He's probably about 30 feet.
Tom's a up and coming player. He really hasn't been playing that long. He's got a background in ball golf, course management, and he's discovered disc golf, and I don't think he's going back.
Yeah, welcome to the light side, Tom.
Yeah.
We're glad to have you.
And BJ is going to take a double bogey here, and it looks like Tom is going to take a bogey as well.
That's rough.
And Troy's just going to drop right in for his par.
Nice and casual. That's the way we all hope golf would be.
So we're moving on to hole 11, which is a par 4, 423 feet. It's big dogleg left, uphill. It's very tightly wooded at this part of it.
You can see the tree that has the 3 trunks in it. That's the signpost, I guess. You want to either be out around to the right of it and curl to the left, or just get inside of it and cut left to give yourself an open look. But it's a tough shot up the hill.
It is.
Because gravity does that. It just takes it and pulls it off to the right when you want it to go left.
Right, so he's leaking down towards 12's fairway, and I was going over the course rules with my wife Megan. This was her first tournament, and she was like, a Mando on hole 11, where is there a Mando? I was like, it is there for one person, basically, and that's Simon Lizotte, who found a crazy line over all of the trees to the left.
And
during
Mike.
That was a good drive.
Wow.
Yeah, that's right up the gap, and he's on the flat spot.
Yeah, to hit that gap from all the way back there, that is the perfect spot to be for his upshot. So yeah, it's there for 1 or 2 people in the world, and for most of us mortals, I don't think I've ever even seen the tree that it's on.
We actually put that Mando in on the first tournaments. We used the C pin on this course, and somebody played the hole. They played it up the other, what was then 9's fairway. They played it up the left-hand fairway, which is, just dangerous throwing right into a crowd. So we had to put a Mando in there.
Very dangerous, yeah. So it's for the few creative people in the world.
And that happens sometimes. You design a course, people do things you never could imagine or expect they would even try. You learn.
Very nice flex backhand there by BJ.
That looked good.
And
Tom trying to get that to roll. That's good. It flexed out. He's got an open look at the basket to get up and down for a 4.
Troy has a nice long uphill shot at it.
Stand deliver came out a little low.
Yeah, that'll definitely leave him short because it does play steeply uphill. And Mike just on the edge. Nice spot for a hyzer up to the basket.
Yeah, this pin is framed nicely by a little clump of trees that are behind it, but he's in good shape. He'll tap. Should tap that one right in.
Yeah, that's exactly how you want to play this hole. Hit the gap, hit the upshot, drop in a putt.
BJ, patent and thumber.
That's curling.
Oh, it's going to roll away from the basket there. He's going to have a tough putt. Should be interesting to see how that plays out. And Tom is finally getting his shot here. Up.
Whoa, hit the top of the basket. Almost
Just
went
sit
in.
down. Well, that would have been a great way to save birdie. Dunk one.
So Troy has a putt here. He's about 35 feet, maybe.
Uphill.
It's uphill.
Yeah.
Real strong putt.
Yeah, when you're feeling it, you're feeling it. That was excellent. Good commitment to the height to get the disc up. Right side chains, nice and strong. Great putt.
Tom from outside the.
Tom puts that right in there. That was not easy. He had that branch under. He had to get underneath it.
Branch, and again, another steep drop off behind the basket. If he misses that, he's sailing back from where he threw his upshot.
True. Yeah, BJ did roll a little bit on his approach.
That's maybe 20 feet. Pin high, so a little easier.
He's got to make up for that double
Good
bogey,
putt.
and he does. Wow.
Really nicely done.
Yeah, it always feels good to come back out and shave a stroke off when you've taken a big score.
3 birdies and a par on a par 4. That hole actually played 3.6, so a little under par for the field.
So hole 12 is a par 3, 396 feet. It's dead straight through a tightly wooded area, and the hill is on the right side. I should say the basket's on the right side of the hill there.
Yeah, it plays great for a forehand if you have one like Troy's.
That's a really nice shot.
Wow.
He skipped the wrong way, though. I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, you can get that depending on the disc angle in the hill. You can get what they call like an anti-skip sometimes. And Mike's leaking where you don't want to go.
That can be jail over there.
Yeah,
Looks like
depending.
he might have popped through.
Man, maybe. Depending where he ended up, though, that could be ugly. And BJ, if you're good at something,
That's right. And I think he's going to get caught there by the tree.
Yeah, there's like a little ravine right there with a group of trees. It's kind of another gateway to get through.
yeah, much better to be down there, though, than up where Mike is. So he should be able to work something out. Tom is fighting. Looks like he made it through.
It does look like he come through there.
He did punch right through that clump of trees. He'll be in a very
Okay.
interesting position.
Yeah, and this
I've got
is
to do the step out backhand here.
yeah, this is jail.
And you really have to
unless
see.
unless he's going to throw a backhand roller, the curl's all the way up there. It's hard to bend a backhand air shot to get it to this pin.
Yeah, because of
where is
that tree in the fairway up there, it cuts off your high angle.
Yes.
So he has to go.
And he went too far left, and yeah, he's gonna be looking at a really long putt there for a 3.
BJ, nice forehand. Looks like it skipped downhill a little bit.
He's putting up at the basket. That's what I prefer, is to be able to putt uphill at it.
Mike's still having to scramble around here to get up towards the basket. So am I correct that this pin location had to be reset because of the anchor or something, right?
The anchor was damaged. I guess the mower hit it, and yeah, we reset it before the tournament.
Yeah, it looks good. I don't think I'd ever seen it up there because it had been good downhill bid. Nice and aggressive. I like that play. Yeah, I guess it had been destroyed for as long as I've been coming out, or hadn't been
It
over
had been
there.
a while, yeah, since we got it to get it repaired.
Yeah, so it's fun to see it. It's a nice bunch of work done to the course between the 2 holes and this pin, having some new looks.
Troy for a beautiful
Yeah,
birdie.
you can
Wow.
tell he's in the zone. He's putting really firm and not taking much time to think about it.
Trying to run away with the lead here.
Yeah, 3 strokes with only a few holes left to play.
6 holes left.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, we have
4
some tough
strokes,
holes
yeah.
coming up here, though, including this one.
Yeah, hole 13 is a par 4, 611 feet. I'd say it with the OB on the right and such. It's definitely one of the more harder holes on the course, especially from the blue positions.
It played a half stroke over par for this advanced field.
and I believe it probably played more for my field because we were just struggling left and right. And that's what happens a lot from both tee shots is you're trying to push something on that left side to then get past. There's a big dead tree on the right side of the fairway, and you need to get past that tree to get down the fairway.
Right.
And it's so hard to do.
It's a turnover shot for a right-handed backhand, or kind of a nice flat forehand for a right-handed player that'll fade at the end. That looks pretty good, but that may go a little bit too far to the right, where Tom just threw.
Yeah, it all depends if he made it, because that big dead tree kind of marks where the rough ends on the right side. So if he made it past that, he'll probably be okay. We'll have to see.
Yeah, I mean, the smart play is just, a placement shot. Looks like a good shot here by Mike. Down the middle, got plenty of fairway to work with on your second shot.
Yeah, right by that manhole cover is usually pretty dry by the red tee pad. That's nice. And Troy here is having to work some angles. It's a tough spot. I've been over there a lot because I usually leak my forehand left. But it looks like he is making something work here.
Yeah, he turned that over nice, and it flexed right into the middle.
Great shot.
You can see that down tree, the long, big dead oak tree. That sort of points towards where the basket is.
And it is tucked way back there, just maybe 10, 12 feet from out of bounds.
There's a creek that's out of bounds right behind the basket. And it also runs along the right-hand side of the fairway, too.
Right where Mike's shot was going, so he needs to hope that got down in time, because that looked like it was cooking towards the out of bounds.
Oh, BJ got it right inside that big tree, and he's got the little roll, too. So he'll have actually a long putt at that.
Yeah, if he wants to run it, it's open for him. But it's testy with the out of bounds right behind it. And Tom looks like just on the edge of that right side. Boy, just maybe a few feet away from an excellent shot.
Oh, I think his disc is going to end up more to the left.
Yeah, it caught the roll edge there.
And this is what happens a lot, is you have that open fairway down, and then you hit all of these clumps of trees, and you can watch players just kind of chunk in.
That's a great looking shot, though.
Whew.
He's parked it. He's under the basket. No sweat putt there.
Yeah, that was a beautiful controlled, just little Annie forehand floated flat.
And Troy.
Skipping, he hit the basket.
He should.
It's a good thing he hit the
Yes.
basket. If he did not, he'd have skipped out of bounds.
Yeah, there is OB directly behind that basket.
That's the safest place for the disc, is in the basket.
Right. Yeah, or we could think about if he had a skip and birdie.
You can
after
see how
going in
close
left
Mike
side.
is to the out of bounds here.
He was so close from going out, maybe a disc or two away.
It was that course karma from hole 4. Move those branches out of the way, and it spared him.
I will admit that they were picking up garbage, BJ and Mike, throughout the round.
Yeah.
To get some course karma.
That's great. As a fellow course promoter, yeah, Troy thanking the basket there for catching his disc. Nice work. Yeah, I'm always a fan. If you're ever wondering what you can do to help out on a disc golf course, take a grocery bag and pick up a few pieces of garbage while you're out playing your round. It's easy and it helps the rest of us out.
Right on. Good guys. Everybody took a 4 there. Everybody parted that hole.
That's great.
That's a good score.
And Michael head out here.
Very good group of scores.
So we'll go ahead and move on to hole number 14, which is a par 4, 505 feet. This one is, you want to go about as straight as you can imagine and hook up around the trees.
The fairway bends left at about halfway down the hole, and then the basket is tucked around to the right, and you'll see it's a touchy approach shot. Not a hard tee shot, but one that if you don't hit, you can be in trouble. It can kick into the bumble for sure.
And that was a beautiful forehand turnover from Troy to get maximum distance around the corner, maybe even penetrate into that second fairway, sort of where the basket is. He could be sitting really nicely. And BJ plays a nice hyzer.
BJ's throwing a good backhand hyzer shot. That'll work.
Mm-hmm. Again, you want to aim for the big dead tree on the right. Let it fade out before you get there.
Tom's going thumber. He's going to be near 15's tee pad.
Just a little straighter than he would have liked.
Yeah, I need to have that turn more. This hole used to be a lot tighter. There was some big trees that leaned over the fairway on the first part of it, and eventually they fell, and it opened it up quite a bit.
Yeah, it's tight enough as it is. Having a few extra trees would not be my preference. And Mike looked like he got a sneaky gap on the side there.
That was so sneaky.
Yeah. And Tom is having to
He's
throw.
throwing a cut roller, forehand cut roller, but caught that tree, and he has some more work to do.
Yeah, he was way out of position there, and BJ looks like hyzered out early, only a little early.
It's such a mature golf shot to be just take what you can get and not try to get too much. I think Tom was trying for too much on that.
Yeah, I think you're right.
That's a nice little roll, and he's got a putt.
Great execution. Mike, wow, really fought through that left side to get out into the open.
He's trying to get underneath that leaning tree or over top of it.
Just over it, and hits another set of trees right behind it.
Roll back.
I need Troy to show me what angle to play into this green, because I tried to throw a forehand and I had a result kind of like Mike's. I made it through the first few trees, and then the third or fourth tree dropped me down. So I'm curious what he can show us here about how to do this.
Oh,
maybe next time, Troy.
under that tree is probably what you want to do.
Okay, I'll take it from the expert here in our commentary. Under the tree.
And there's a second path here.
There
that
is a
Tom-
back. You're right. There's a backside gap here. It's a lot tighter though.
And once you get closer, it kind of opens up as Mike here
Yeah,
is
he's running it a little bit.
bidding for it. Past that log, it does drop off a little bit back there. It can get a little bumbly, but he should be okay to come back with his putt. That's
roll
gonna
too
roll.
much.
Wobble on them. There it is.
That's no gimme putt. He's got some work to do.
Yeah, there's a few trees kind of right along that log.
Yeah.
BJ's gonna have a longer look at this basket. He's probably 40 feet out.
Slightly obstructed putt. Throws it up. That was a good run.
Yeah, I guess Troy's closer than I thought. This should be like 15 feet.
It looks like he might have to
He
hyzer
does have a little
around.
tree there.
Oh,
but
no
he's got it
problem.
But the way that he's playing today, I don't think he's worried too much.
Or if he is, we can't tell. He's got the
This-
mirror sunglasses
I know,
on.
this
We
one-
can't see
So cool.
anything.
Yeah, he seemed really loose and
Team
relaxed
focused.
every time that I bumped into him throughout the tournament.
DJ's sporting the t-shirt from the NT last year.
Hole 15's a par 3, 248 feet. It's tightly wooded. And I thought, hey, it's amateur PFDO. Let's do some amateur drone shot here.
Ooh.
Over
Wow,
hole
that's some
15.
good flying through these trees.
Yeah, it's a little tight in there. But, yeah, we're able to...
These are very small gaps off the tee, with the creek that runs right kind of diagonally across the fairway, and there's out of bounds behind the basket, maybe 20 feet. So there's plenty of danger here. It's one of the shortest holes in the course, but it can be nasty.
Looks like Troy's going to go right at it. And,
He's past the worst danger.
Right. Maybe a little too much flex on his forehand, but like you said, he'll have a pretty clean approach to the basket. BJ play it low, looking for some skip.
yeah, we weren't getting too much of a skip off that grass there.
Yeah, one of the few spots that
Kinda
still is a little
sticky, yeah.
sticky, muddy.
Tom, I'm gonna throw left-handed here, or is that
It's
just the way he
interesting.
winds up his forehand?
Yeah,
okay.
I've been watching him do that.
That's
I think
nicely done.
Oh, pretty. He'll have a birdie putt. Yeah, I think he lines up kind of like imagining the rotation with his left hand,
Yeah.
but then throws it right-handed. That's a neat way to go about it.
And Mike is going to run it. And
Oh,
looks too far.
Oh, jeez.
Just OB.
Yeah, there's not, once you get to the basket, there is not much grass to catch you. I had to throw an approach just from the backside of the creek, and I just got my disc to the ground. I was 6 inches from out of bounds, so if Mike was just a skosh lower, would have hung in for him. It's a shame to see a good shot go long, but he'll have his par putt.
It's not the worst place to go OB because you have an easy...
Ooh, right off the band.
Bummer.
You
Yeah,
have an
you
easy
can see how
comeback.
close it is coming off out of bounds. Should make this.
Yep, take
Bring-
your meter. Yeah, if you're going to go long on your tee shot.
Yeah.
And he did. Okay.
Yep, make
so
your
we got the
par.
par.
Not bad.
So everybody's scoring a 3 on this hole, it looks like. And that's about how the hole played on average, 2.9 for the field.
Hope everybody's okay. And so we'll go ahead and move on to hole 16. Hole 16 is a par 3, 219 feet. It's all uphill, tightly wooded, but it's not as bad as it used to. You guys cleared out a lot of debris in there.
Well, Nob Hill, I think, was ground zero for the Emerald Ash Borer when it landed, because it just decimated a big chunk of the wooded areas of this course. And this hole was one of them. You can see a lot of the stuff laying down on the sides. Those are all ash trees that used to be.
Well, that's a shame that it's been so decimated, but just with the low stuff, the weed whacking and the mowing, I remember it being a lot thicker, I think even just last year for this tournament. So it really made things a little easier. If you were anywhere near that path, you were okay. And it should be noted, too, that the parking lot right in front of you is OB as well. So if you
Correct.
hit early and kick back, you will be sitting
Tom
with an
didn't
extra
hit anything
stroke.
early. He crushed it all the way up there.
That is an
He is
absolute,
pin high.
Yeah, that is a smash of a forehand. Because it's only 219 feet, but it is just dead straight up the steepest hill on the course.
It's about 30 feet of elevation gain.
Mike getting sneaky on
That's
the
a
left
good
side
shot.
again. Wow.
It's going to have a putt.
Mm-hmm.
I think BJ's got this sort of side hill lie but he negotiated very nicely.
Yeah, he even gave it a little run to boot. Nice try. Troy's
Troy.
like, I've been doing this all day.
Pitching it up there.
No big deal.
I think Mike wants to give this a good run if he's going to have a chance to do anything here. Keep his lead.
From the blue tee to this pin, it's kind of a flat uphill. Ooh.
No.
I was just going to say that there's not as much danger approaching from this direction as it is from the white tee.
Right.
But as you saw, if you land on edge, it's going to roll.
Yeah, I actually heard a lot of people say that they like this tee shot better because it's straight up the hill. You don't have to go up over the knob. You don't have to go through all the trees guarding the basket. It's just one path and up, but then you have that roll away potential.
It's actually shorter from the blue tee than it is from the white tee.
Yeah. It's a fun shot. It definitely is challenging in a different way.
We have Tom pin high. Oh.
He's saying okay, and he's
Yeah.
down.
At least it didn't roll away.
Right.
But Mike, just showing that he's been doing this a long time, has nothing but some chuckles and some funny words for his card mates after the roll away. I mean, that's just a good sport showing how the game's supposed to be played.
Yeah, these guys are enjoying each other. They're having a good time in the group. Good to see.
All right, so we'll go ahead and move on to hole number 17. This is a par 3, 281 feet. This is mostly downhill, and you'll see that the road on the left-hand side is OB. We were able to get another amateur drone shot here. As we come out, you'll see that the basket is actually on the side of it's really got bump down there.
It's perched on a little ledge there on the end of it. Boy, I wish I was a disc and could just look at the golf course from that perspective.
Yeah. It was, the drone footage looks really nice and it gives you a sense. And we got our sponsor here. Anderson Valley Brewing Company's Hop Heiser. They provided beer for the players' party afterwards. Excellent. I'd highly recommend it if you enjoy beer.
Yeah, they debuted the beer here in Pennsylvania at the Pittsburgh Flying Disc Open. We thank them for their support of disc golf. They're big disc golfers. Apparently, they've got a course at their brewery in California.
That's awesome.
So these are the shots you want to take. Backhand hyzer with something overstable. Let it just shoot right in towards the basket, and give yourself a chance for a birdie. And then there's also this left side gap if you're more of a forehand guy. You can shoot it out over the road. On the left is a little out of bounds, but if you play something stable, it'll flex back. And Mike's going back to his trusty green putter. Been throwing this around all day. Sweet angle control.
Yeah, it's a putter shot. It's not very far if you just let it do its thing. Here's BJ just kind of trying to get it down on the flat there.
That's a smart play. I mean, there's no need. He's only a stroke away from Mike, so kind of puts the little bit of pressure on him to have to keep pace.
Like laying it up there.
Smart play. Don't give any extra strokes away.
And Tom has this basket uphill from him on this bump of a hill. We'll see how this plays.
Oh no.
No. Good move grabbing the bag. He's waving bye-bye to his disc. And that's the humor you need to have in this game. Things are going to happen. You can't control every factor. So good for him for just kind of taking it with a laugh. Now he's going to get back up the hill. Just sit.
That's okay.
Yeah, weebling and wobbling, but staying okay.
And Troy for his 2.
Oh, just left side a little bit.
Good bid, though.
Yeah, I was expecting him to have that for how solid his putting's been all day. Maybe just a little further out than his other putts.
That's a good putt from BJ's. Putting the cap back on the lock. See, that's a course promoter move right there.
So everybody will be finishing out here.
Tapping in.
And we'll go ahead and move on to hole number 18. Our final hole for the day is a par 4, 538 feet. You got OB on the left side as well as the front of the basket there. We have another shot for you. You can actually see how this hole plays.
I don't know if it's just because it's from up above, but the color of the grass looks so different in the shot than the.
Probably the
live
filter.
cameras.
It's the filter that I have on here.
This basket's sitting on this is another fast green. It's on a very steep slope here. It's actually the toughest of the 3 pins on this hole.
I believe it.
You can go too far and be in the woods and have almost nothing coming back out at it. You can get rollaways.
That slope really adds another dimension of fear in your head about whenever you're putting. And I think it really is, you almost...
That's a good shot from Troy. A lot of distance, and he's got the good angle to approach the basket from that left side.
Yeah, and this is one more tee shot where you just get to rip it out and let it ride, but you need to control it. That big tree is in your way, and you do not want to fade out left because the road is out of bounds. And it looks like BJ's getting
good
ground.
though. Yeah, this is good. He's safe. Yeah, and he's got that good approach angle to the basket again.
Definitely.
You're throwing uphill at it as opposed to if you're up on the right-hand side of the fairway, even if you're past that big tree, you either can't quite see the basket or you've got the danger of the slope just taking your disc to the left. Is he going to clear that tree? He gets under the branch.
Yeah, there's actually a pretty big gap. I seem to yank it a lot just because I think I'm afraid of the road subconsciously, and there's actually a nice window underneath that overhanging branch, and if you get up in there, you're going to be okay.
And Tom's going to flex that out big and wide.
Get a skip.
Give him some skip there.
Oh, come on.
More
Come on.
work.
Skip and roll.
We're going to see where he landed here in a moment.
Ooh, suspense. I like it. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, for me, I would rather play high up to the tree and kind of right along that ridge on the hillside. I just don't want to test.
It's safer there.
Yeah, I don't want to test the road.
And
Look at this
Mike's
shot.
going to get a good skip, and then it's going to start to roll, and oh no.
Still rolling.
It's still rolling. It actually rolled across the road.
Oh my goodness.
They're pointing it out.
Oh,
And that's what can happen. I mean, you don't control the angle. You throw something too fast, it can roll you all the way down. That happened to a few people that day.
BJ's going to stick up there. He's
BJ's
gonna have a little bit
overhead
of a-
shot here is probably a good one for this hole because it's spin the other way and it'll curl to the right as opposed to just a forehand, which sometimes, if like Troy's going to throw the forehand here,
And
looking real,
Oh.
like it almost went in.
oh,
Well, that would have been a way to end a round, is
Yes.
dunking in an eagle from 200.
and here we have Tom. He just got inbounds, just enough.
Right, so,
Wow.
so you can see the basket where he's got a good look at a good line, but that's a pretty sharp angle.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to throw my disc on that angle. I guess it sat.
I hope so.
Yeah. We'll take a look here in a moment.
So Mike went out of bounds here, and this is his,
Yes, this is where he's
his fourth shot.
coming
Wow.
out. Oh,
A little short.
A
Oh,
little bit in the rough there.
not where you want to be for your fifth shot to try to save a bogey. BJ has a nice open putt here, a little uphill.
oh,
Hit the basket.
Wow.
yeah. You gotta watch the angle of this basket is very deceiving. Oh, Troy.
See, look at the roll.
Way up.
Well, it got down. That's fortunate.
Here we have Mike for his bogey.
Wow.
Oh,
Maybe caught a little bit of wind
Ooh.
with the nose up over the basket.
so
Tom sat high on the hillside, and that's a steeply downhill putt. You can see his knees are about at the band of the basket. So it's down. Ooh. Just sits. Wow.
yeah, BJ should have a nice easy putt here, and
Whoa! He didn't even see it.
That's it.
He wasn't even watching. He took his eyes off it.
Yeah,
We saw
Mike's
it.
giving him an instant replay. Just flippity flops in. Holy cow.
We'll go to instant replay later on that.
Wow.
Troy taps in a stellar round.
Yeah, that was a great round.
And Mike's
tapping
gonna
out with an unfortunate
double
double
bogey,
bogey.
which puts him in third place on the card.
He's still talking to BJ about what his putt did. That was
Why
dancing.
not?
That
Yeah.
thing was dancing.
Stalled out and waited and everything. Troy,
Wow, that was a great round from Troy. He shot a 58. That's 5 under par. Those blue tees are rated about 950.
yeah, he.
So it's gonna be close to 1,000 rated round.
I was looking at the ratings, and I'm not sure if it'll change being official, but I think it was 997.
Yeah.
So I think he might have been kicking himself if he just would have made one of those putts in the last two holes, would have had that 1,000. But I mean, it still is an excellent.
Well,
excellent
yeah,
score.
I guess he could, but he won the tournament. He actually won a paid entry into the Pro PFDO
All right.
in August. So he's got a lot to be happy about. As does, I hope, everybody that played in the tournament, because it was a great weekend, and really appreciate Disc Golf Examiner covering it for us.
Yeah, thanks for hustling around out in the heat, Brian. I felt bad with your jacket with all your gear and stuff. I know you had to be really earning your keep that day.
It was a lot of fun, regardless of heat. I mean, it was just so much fun getting to meet new people, getting to be out there and cover what we all love here, and be able to share this with the viewers. And special thank you to Grip It and Rip It Disc Golf for sponsoring us. We have all the photos and video thanks to them. So
My pleasure.
appreciate J
Yeah,
Gary
you're
for
welcome.
that.
Yeah, thanks, J Gary.
You're welcome. We enjoyed seeing the growth of amateur disc golf, and it's boded well for the sport in our area, our region, our country, and just around the world.
Yeah, we want to say special thank you to Lori Merriman again, who was the tournament director, and everybody who pitched in and helped out making these courses look absolutely beautiful, stunning this weekend. You guys, all your work is greatly appreciated, for sure.
I want to thank our sponsors, Anderson Valley Brewing and Innova Disc Golf. Upper Park Designs have provided a great addition to our players package. And the PDGA, of course, for sanctioning our sport.
Absolutely. Vince, anything you want to say before we go?
No, I had a great time. I played the event. My wife won the rec women division, so she played and had a great time. So it was a great weekend.
Congrats to Megan.
Yeah, go Megan. Woo!
Go Megan.
Yeah, it was probably the most fun I've had at a tournament as far as players pack amenities. They fed us both days, gave me beer. I mean, you really can't get much better than that, honestly.
No, definitely not. So special thank you to everybody who made it happen. Anything else you want to say before we go, J Gary?
No, it's just really gratifying to see Nob Hill still being a challenging, competitive course for disc golfers, even after it's close to 15 years now that it's been in the ground. And obviously Deer Lakes is a world-class course as well. So it's great to see people getting to play, continuing to enjoy to play those courses.
Absolutely. And hey, we want to thank you guys for watching. And if you have any comments, questions, anything, leave them in the comment section below. We always do love hearing from you. I guess until next time, guys, keep banging those chains.
Grip It and Rip It Disc Golf is an LLC that I formed in 2012 to do course design, event management, and instruction for disc golf. I've either been the sole designer or the lead designer or a collaborator on 15 disc golf courses in Western Pennsylvania and West Virginia and now Ohio.
The more you can tell yourself positive things, the less chance you have, less space there is in your head to let in the doubts and the second thoughts.
Disc golf course design is both an art and a science, and I've had almost 30 years of experience designing courses, playing courses. Professional course designer, I think, is a very valuable use of a park's budget in order to create a course that's challenging for multiple levels of play, both championship level and recreational, that's safe and sustainable. It's something that can be improved and last for a long time. Thanks for watching, and if you want to contact me about disc golf course design or event management or instruction, you can reach me at gripitandripitdiscgolf.com.